ready?
Yep. Races will continue to be played out as the evening wears on. The Irving Oil 150 support races, the NASCAR Dodge Weekly Series. On the racetrack now, the only division tonight that will run qualifying races. It's the Pro Series. Field looks for the green flag, this time off of turn number 4. Atop the flag stand, your starters. Junior Niles and Eddie Walsh look the field over, give the field the green. We are underway. Shores on the inside of the front row tries to fight Jackie Russell down the back straightaway. Russell pushes ahead by a half car length. Shores right back at him on the inside, gets a little loose into the corner. That's going to drift up the racetrack and take Jackie Russell with him. Russell not phased at all, stays to his high side as Shores once again struggles through the corners down the back straightaway. Jackie Russell trying to close the deal, but Shore still right there. Kirk Gary on the outside trying for second, and here comes Trevor Sanborn. Sanborn has thoughts about making it 3 wide across the front straightaway that time. Jackie Russell, the number 10, powers down the back straightaway, pulls ahead by about 3 car lengths. Now it's side by side for second. Kirk Gary and Doug Shores door to door. Rick Frenette has found the outside line, and he's found it to his liking. The last 3 weeks, 54 has really turned the season around. Picked up his first win in the top division in such a long time, just a couple of weeks ago. Backed it up with a great run last Saturday night. And a great battle with Dan McKeag to the start-finish line last Saturday. Who knows if we'll repeat ourselves for tonight. But right now, 54 looking strong down the backstretch all over. Kirk Gary for second. Gary down to the inside. Here comes Frenette on the top side of him. Rocky Gary in the number 44 tries the high line on Shores. He'll jump to the number 4 spot. Meanwhile, down the back straightaway, it's side by side for second. Cross flags in the air this time. 6 down, 6 to go. Door to door for spot number 2. Frenette has it at the line by about a foot. Ricky makes it stick through the corners, and Frenette takes over second down the backstretch. 54 to spot number 2. Kirk Gary in the number 7, right along in third, followed by Brocky Gary and George Philbrick. Philbrick's a guy who's been quietly making his way towards the front, not just this race, but just the past month or so. They've really turned the 99, they turned a corner on that car, and consistently in the top 10, came away with the top 5 last week. A battle for the lead in turn number 1. Really not much of a battle, though, off of turn number 2, and powering down the back straightaway. Rick Frenette has done all his passing on the high side, and the 54 is your leader off of turn number 4. Jackie Russell, the number 10, still second. Kirk Gary has thoughts of going after him, making it a battle for second. We'll see what happens and what unfolds over the final 2 laps. 2 to go this time. It's all Ricky Frenette on the line. Thought last lap that Kirk Gary was going to close on the number 10 of Jackie Russell. Instead, Gary's going to worry about Brocky Gary right there. Battle of the Garys, and now George Philbrick looking down to the inside. White flag out, 1 to go. Philbrick, who started near the back of the pack, now runs mid-pack, has a good shot at making a charge for 4th as the final lap comes out this time. Checkered flag, and the number 54, Rick Frenette, will nail it down. 10 of Jackie Russell, second. Gary comes up third. Rocky Gary will get 4th. Rounding out your top 5, George Philbrick, another top 5 run for the 99 team. Mike Maeda Jr. in the number 13 goes down to the inside of row number 3. Outside, J.R. Burrell sneaking into number 2 in points just last week. The 8 train of Alan Tardif and Bobby Bass start side by side in the qualifier with the number 08 of Mark Lucas out of Harpswell. And outside, 6th place runner from the back of the pack last week. Look out for Robbie Harrison in the number 18. Green flag is out. They rub in turn number 1 on the start. Almost goes 3 wide off of turn 2. Steve Carrier had thoughts, backed out of it, and they're still stacked up side by side for the lead off of turn number 4. Oliver down low, Billadu up high, dragging it back to the stripe. Joker gets the advantage off of turn number 2 and 21, jumps to your number 1 spot. Nada Billadu back to second. Carrier tries the inside of Billadu. Billadu shuts him down. Naughty Foddy right there, and they all get sandwiched up in turn number 3. One driver had to check up and created a ripple accordion-like effect, but everybody stays straight. We're still green. And double file for the lead. Billadu had the outside just 3 laps ago. Now he's trying low, and it's more successful for him. Yes, much more successful for Bob Billadu, number 9 down the back straightaway, your leader. Oliver back to second, side by side for third. J.R. Burrell's going to try the top side on the 83 of Steve Carrier. McKeag right there in the number 40. Rounds out the top 5 down the backstretch. Still side by side out the corner. A lot of room between the 77 and the 83. Normally when drivers battle side by side like that, they are literally rubbing on each other, leaning on each other. Not the case that time, giving each other tons of room. 77 and 83 with 40 right there, and Mike Maeda Jr. in the 13 still lurking. He's not out of this battle, could very easily wind up with a second place run with just a simple pass. A couple guys get bunched up in front of him. You never know what can happen in this division, especially with the points being as tight as they are. Every single position does count, whether it's qualifying or whether it's in the feature. When guys win championships by a single point, you need that 5th place if you need that point. And speaking of points, the driver right now, they're all chasing towards the back of the pack right now, the 4 of Bobby Babb. Dan McKeag in the number 40, sideways that time off the corner after contact with Carrier. Alan Tardiff's going to go around, and Robbie Harrison goes around. The 2 teammates spin in turn number 1. It lasts all the way to 2. Tardiff lights him up. Caution flag is out. Harrison can't go, and Tardiff on pit road. All clear off of turn number 3 on the flag stand as well. We'll get the green flag this time. Alan Tardiff rejoins the field. Off of turn number 2, the veteran Billadu retakes the top spot. J.R. Burrell, he's really going to benefit from the Alan Tardiff spin. And he's running the strongest of all the competitors who are running for the championship. This team gets better week in and week out. The 77's got second down the backstretch. Carrier still in third. Oliver back to 4th. Side by side for 5th. Maeda Jr. on the outside. Dan McKeag, last week's winner, down low. Naughty Foddy has it on the line by a half car length. 2 laps to go. Burrell has caught Billadu. 77 right there with a 9. Billadu in a point race of his own, just sitting outside the top 5 after struggling much of the 2003 season. They've really turned things around, enough of 6th in points. Burrell needs every spot he can get, so he's going to try it down the backstretch. Final time. Turn number 3, it will be a single file finish as the checkered comes out, goes to Billadu first, second to Burrell, third to Carrier, 4th to the number 21 of David Oliver, and Dan McKeag rounds out your top 5. And this is another champion in the Thursday Thunder Series, moving up to the Lightning Bucks on a different car tonight. Ray Letelier, who normally drives the Jeff Gordon model number 24 in the Thursday Thunder Series, driving the 55 at the back of the pack tonight, getting his first NASCAR night start. Pace car on pit road, set for a green flag this time off of turn number 4. Eddie Walsh winds him up to the start. Green flag is out. Nealon has a hard time getting up from the gears. A couple of cars get by. Nealon gets up to speed. Same can't be said, though, for Randy Bernier in the 97. He'd be lucky to make it back to pit road. 47 to Caswell through turns number 3 and 4. Picks up the top spot. Betty Nelson in second. Dagny's in the number 11, doesn't make it a lap without turning it around, and number 11 will get it back underway, so we stay green. This division is where the ladies are really shining. Last week, ladies swept this division. Betty Nelson won the qualifier, Laura Webster won the feature, and both have a good shot at nailing down this one, both in the top 5 off of turn 4. Caswell in the 47 off of turn 2. Still holds the top spot. Betty Nelson looking down to the inside. Here comes Smoking Betty on the inside. number 8, Nelson, will go to the lead. Caswell tries to come down to protect the inside line. That's, well, that line is now taken. It's not vacant anymore. Frankenbeeks occupies it, and the 51 jumps to second. Derek Nealon now tries the inside of the 47 to Caswell. Caswell drifts at the racetrack. That's not good news for Laura Webster. Webster was on top of the number 47, and still is in turn number 1. 3 wide with Brian Boya trying to get into the action. Boya tries low on the 47 to Caswell. Brackett in the number 9. Brackett's having a hard time making his way to the front, and this could, well, if Frank Collins continues to run where he is, and Brackett does where he is on the racetrack, could tighten the points that much more. 14 points. Actually, 24 points, excuse me, coming into tonight's race. The separation between the 51 and the 9. Betty Nelson off in turn number 4 leads this one. Frank Collins right there in the 51. Collins, multi-time feature winner this season, hasn't been visited Victory Lane in quite a while as far as Collins is concerned. Frank's a guy who's accustomed to winning just about every other week, but this year the competition has really stepped up, and Frank has had his hands full. Right now he's got his hands full with 2 ladies. Betty Nelson on the inside, Laura Webster stocking him with the number 40. Collins down the back straightaway has the advantage. Now it's Laura Webster on the outside, Betty Nelson down low. Battle of the turquoise-colored cars in turn number 1. While this happens, 51 to Frank Collins. He likes what he sees. Looks in his rearview mirror, sees the ladies side by side. He runs whatever line he wants. He pulls away up by 5 car lengths now in turn number 3. Meanwhile, Betty Nelson down to the inside, still hanging on to it, but Laura Webster in the 40. Not giving up an inch and staying strong on the high side. Brackett still watching the battle from 4th position. He's moved up, so he's gained some championship points, trying to maintain that advantage, at least keep it somewhat comfortable as we enter the final 2 weeks after this race. Halfway down, 10 to go. Betty Nelson in the number 8 holds the advantage down the backstretch, but just like a full-speed pace lap down the backstretch, Laura Webster comes back on the outside. Brackett's caught both of them, and now he looks to go 3 deep in turn number 4. Thought he might make a move on Betty Nelson that time. Instead, tucks back in behind the number 8. Meanwhile, Frank Collins continues to roll with this race. Off of turn number 4, leads by a couple of seconds now. Betty Nelson on the inside. Nelson still has that advantage back into turn number 1. She's able to lead it across the straightaway. It's Webster who makes the I guess most of her room down the backstretch. You can see her pull even in turn number 3. Good side-by-side racing off the corner. Frank Collins coming up on some lap traffic now. Meanwhile, still side by side, nothing has changed. Betty Nelson down low, Laura Webster remaining in that position. I mean, basically, I could have turned around, had a 3-minute conversation with Dave Sturgis about how big the white knuckle nuggets are tonight. I turned back around and hey, same thing. Phil Brackett right there behind the 2 ladies. They battle for 2nd spot as Frank Collins continues to lead this race by about a quarter of a track now. Nelson slips up a little bit. Not sure if she cut down a tire or something, but she's out of shape. And now Webster inherits the 2nd position. What a tough break for Betty Nelson. It's a good thing I did turn around, Dave, because if I wasn't, I'd still be talking about the race. Well, the race doesn't exist anymore. They tell Laura Webster in 2nd spot. Can Laura catch Frank Collins in 4 laps? My guess is at the speed they're running, no. But this is racing. You know, there are no guarantees. Collins with a full straightaway advantage now over Webster, who's got a couple of car lengths on Phil Brackett. Then it's back to Brian Bollier and Derek Nealon. Tim Caswell in the 47. Still right there, 2 laps to go this time. hoist the white flag. And will gain some points. He'll gain some points on Phil Brackett, so he'll narrow it down. He'll be inside the 20-point banner. And with 2 weeks to go, that's, well, you definitely want to be as close as you can, but if you're inside 20, you get a legitimate shot at the championship, especially with the number of cars we have in this division. So, you know, things aren't looking too bad for Frank Collins. 51 picks up the win. Laura Webster comes across second. Brackett will get third. Brian Bully comes up with his first top 5 run of Beetlebug. Not Beetlebug, has a ton of hooves. I mean, Lightning Bug. And Tarek Nealon rounds up the top 5. So get yourself a 50-50 ticket. If you haven't, go and get another one. Or if you haven't, get one now. If you've received one already, hey, get another one. That's what I meant to say. We have roamers throughout the grandstands. Danny DeWaldy's down there at the flag stand. Right behind it, and he'll take care of you down there. All right, let's go trackside to Pepsi Victory Lane. Dave Sturgis and the Lightning Bug winner.
Frank Collins, your feature winner. Frank, congratulations. It's been a while, but you made it back.
You know, they've stepped it up a beat. Yeah, it's been a little while, but we're coming back. I got a championship to go after, and this just helps a little bit.
Narrowed the gap just a bit, finished a couple places in front of Brackett, picked up 4 points on him.
We just need a couple more races. If we could extend the season, maybe.
Or the rain would stop.
The rain, yeah.
Congratulations on your win. Irving Mainway is tonight's sponsor. And with that, the first place presentation.
I want to congratulate you on behalf of Irving Mainway, and good luck with the rest of the points lead in the season. There you go.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, your feature winner, Frank Collins, with a feature win. Your Wildcat Semi on the raceway as the official pace car from Forest City Chevrolet ducks to the infield pit road. Junior Niles high atop the flag stand, set to give the indication to go green in turn number 4. Green flag out, and we're racing. Single file around the oval into turn to number 1 and 2. Troy Graffam, already a Wildcat semi-feature winner and a main feature winner. Off to the early lead as lap 1 approaches the start-finish line. Mark Floor, Gary Adams, Scott Connery at top 4. Troy Graffam, already a Wildcat semi-feature winner, has also picked up a main feature win in the number 5 Wildcat.
And Graffam at one point this year was leading the points. And
that quickly got erased halfway through the season.
Yeah, he had a way of finding himself in the low point race, but he's trying to get back into the main high point races, which we'll see a little bit later on. And Dave and the Wildcats, 20 top 9 positions, separated by just 25 points.
Very, very close. And Dan Wink had that position last week, now finds himself in 5th place or so.
I think he's I think he's back to 5th now. He's just 1 point out of Lyman McKegg right now, 1 point behind him in 6th position. So, I mean, how cool is this? We have 3 races, including the one we're going to have with the Wildcats in a few minutes, left to go in the season. And conceivably, someone that's in 8th or 9th place in the point standings could win the championship. That's possible. It could happen.
That's great racing throughout the season. Huh?
That's reasons to come back for the next 2 Saturdays.
We're halfway down, 5 down, 5 to go. The lineup has stayed the same for the first 5 laps. Troy Graffam leading the way. Mark Floor, we know it's Mark Floor on the number 13. Trying to reel in the number 5 through turns 3 and 4.
It might be a good time to check out that pit stop challenge that we just mentioned. Down at turn number 1. Once again, you can go down there and check out. Do I see Jerry Majors down there? Is that Jerry? Could have sworn I saw him.
No, he has hair.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, you can see how easily I'm distracted. Down at turn number 1.
Maybe that's where some of these Wildcat drivers are. They're down at turn number 1.
They're down at the pit stop challenge. But yeah, go down there, change a tire, and they'll clock you, and at the end of the night, they'll give away awards for the fastest time. It's the pit stop challenge down at turn number 1, as Irving really steps up tonight for the Irving Oil 150. Every time Irving comes, we're one of the great sponsors that we do have. Of course, all of them. So I try to pick a favorite kid, you just can't do it. But Irving, they always bring stuff. They even brought us stuff. We have T-shirts here, and I'm sure you get a T-shirt on the way in if you came here early for time trials. And They always just have all sorts of business going on. And for example, the pit stop challenge, that's pretty amazing. That's down to turn 1. Pretty entertaining stuff. And they have that autograph session. It's always fun to have the Irving Oil crew stop over and do a race with us.
And they're seeing a fine winner right here, the Wildcat Semi. Troy Graffam looking for a Wildcat Semi-feature win number 2 with Mark Floor approaching the back bumper, but not enough time. Junior Mal shows the checkered flag. And Troy Graffam, an easy Wildcat feature win. And Scott Connor, his first time out, gets a top 4 finish.
Good for him. Trucks off of turn number 4, wind it up anyways to the green, and we get started. Off of turn number 2, Wally Henderson from the outside of the front row jumps to the lead. Richard Owen Jr. down the back straightaway. Jr. side by side for second with Kevin Cole. Cole gets it a little loose off of turn 4, gathers it back up, remains in second, but Owen too tough for him in turn number 1. They bang. I would say they touched, but that was a full-on bang in turn number 1. Amazing, those guys able to stay straight after that contact. 69 and 06 do it again in turn number 3. They lean on each other this time. Russ Bowman right there with 28 of Walter Black down low, and Taco trying to come up the middle. Glidden, the number 44, very happy with his truck on pit road, said he had a shot at the win. And things might, well, maybe the truck will come to him in the second half of the event because Taco's going backwards right now. Confident on his inside. Meanwhile, Russ Bowman battling side by side with Kevin Cole. Looks like Walter Black's in a faster truck than both of those guys, but he's not going to try the inside. Thought he was going to make it 3 wide, but realized that's just probably not a good idea with these trucks. So he sits back, waits for something to happen. Cole, the number 0, gets it loose off the corner, and that's what's going to happen. Cole takes Black with him. Keeps it going. Down the back straightaway, 52-year leader, but Richard Owen Jr. now giving chase. Olin, who picked up the win. What a thrill this was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Probably the best race I've ever seen in the Truck Series. Between 3 of the top drivers, you have Olin Jr., you have Cole Watson in the 45, and 66 of Steve Coffey. They had a 3-way race-long battle. They were never more than a half truck length apart. And it was an exciting photo finish, and I'm not sure if we're going to get a repeat of that this week, but Owen's trying to track down your leader at least. Side by side for third, down to the inside, Cole Watson. Watson in the 45 puts the bed in the door, just about everything else on the right side of the number 68 of Bowman. He'll jump to third spot. Justin Glidden now having the truck come to him. Taco's on the inside, and the Stallion Steel number 44. Glidden tries the inside. Steve Coffin in the Orange Crush right there. '66 tries the inside of 68. Cole Watson in the 45 has closed in on Richard Owen. Forget about Olin closing in on Henderson. Down the back straightaway. Missing a tire, it's Kevin Cole. That's not going to stop him. 52 of Henderson, still your leader down the road. Second place might change hands. Indeed it does. Cole Watson to the inside of Richard Owen. 45 puts the moves on 69, and off of turn 2, Watson now to second. Side by side for fourth. Orange Crush on the inside and Taco up top. How's that for a meal combination? That's what you call your number 2 down at the concession area in turn number 1. Number 66 jumps into the 4th spot. 11 laps on the board now. Wally Henderson still your leader. The only champions this series has known, running 1 and 2 on the racetrack right now. Your 2000 champ on the point. And 2001 and 2002 champion running in second. Cole Watson with Richard Owen a distant third. Single file all the way around the racetrack. Further on back in the pack, Walter Black looking to the inside of Michael Rowe. Rowe with a win this season. slides up the racetrack a little bit. Black's going to go down to his inside. Number 28 draws it up even down the backstretch. Battle for 7th off of turn number 4. Black and the number 28 will come to 7th. 4 of Rowe, not sure if he's looking for some sort of retaliation off of turn number 2. Gives him a little rub off of the corner, but sits back in behind him and will try again in turn number 4. Michael Rowe to the inside. While this is all happening, Cole Watson is catching Wally Henderson. This time by 5 laps to go. Eddie Walsh on the flag stand, sticks up the fingers, gives him the 5 fingers at a discount sign, and 5 laps to go for the 52. Cole Watson is now right there. Meanwhile, for 3rd position, 69 of Richard Owen Jr. has it, but the Orange Crush and Russ Bowman make some contact. Bowman's going to go down to the inside. He'll pick up the position. Taco right there in the 44. This could be more positions and more points that Cole Watson does pick up en route to the championship. Steve Coffin still with a huge lead. But every position does count. You never know what's going to happen. You need every position, especially in the last couple of weeks. Watson's right there. He has 2nd. But he's not going to be content running there. Watson needs every position he can get. Like I said, he's going to try over Wally Henderson down the back straightaway. This time, 2 laps to go. 2 to go, 45, tried the high side a little bit on the 52 for the past couple of laps. Now he's going to look down low. Cole Watson tries the low side going into turn number 1, but Henderson shuts him down. 45 of Watson will have to throw everything he has at Henderson. Henderson has come alive in the second half of the season, running very well, picked up a couple of wins. Looking for his 3rd win of the season. Watson, on the other hand, looking for his 7th. Final time down the back straightaway. One more time for Cole Watson. One more chance, and it's going to happen in turn number 3. Checkered flag out. Wally Henderson drifts up the racetrack a little bit. Watson to the inside. They're going to be side by side of the line, but it's going to be Wally Henderson. Henderson gets it. Watson 2nd, 3rd to Owen, 4th to Bowman, 5th to the 66 of Steve Coffin. Turn number 452 comes down to the victory lane, and the Pepsi victory lane is where we'll head and check out Dave Sturgis, and he'll hear from Wally.
Pepsi Victory Lane is where we're at on Mainway Irving night here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. The big 150 coming up later on for the Busch Grand National North drivers. Your truck feature winner, his 3rd feature win. Welcome him into Victory Lane. Your winner, Wally Henderson with the win. Wally, congratulations and welcome once again back to Victory Lane.
Nice to be back. Nice to be back. Things are going pretty good, and I'd like to thank Pickett and Son, D&K's Auto Sales, and my crew, and Irving Oil for sponsoring the race tonight. And we're pretty happy with everything right now.
Truck's going good. It's your 3rd win this year. Nice job to be back.
Yeah, well, it's like I said before, it's easy from the front, but it's hard from the back.
Congratulations once again. Mainway Irving is tonight's sponsor, and Skip is here with the first place presentation.
Hey, on behalf of Irving Oil, I want to congratulate you on the truck series. Congratulations. It was a great race out there. It was fun right till the end. We loved watching it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your feature winner, Wally Henderson.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. And the Wildcat race, the High Point drivers will be coming out next for their 30-lap feature event. Of course, later on, as Dave said, the Irving Oil 150 for the Busch North Series on tap.
55, that's Marcel Chauvet. The number 53, Dan Wink. Jason Webster, the number 96. The number 90, your current point leader, Richard Randall Jr. And last Saturday night's feature winner, the number 15, Jeremy Moraes. Pace car ducks to the infield pit road. We've got 30 laps for your Wildcat High Point drivers. Judy Niles looks over the field in turn 4, green flag. Side by side, go the races into turn number 1. They'll continue down the back chute into turn number 3. Chad Monroe, Ron Corbeil Jr., door handle to door handle through turns 3 and 4. Mike Ness squeezes to the low side. Monroe swaps some paint with Ness through turns number 1. Ron Corbio Jr. takes off. Got a good 2 or 3 car lengths lead over the number 67, former Wildcat champion Mike Nest. Monroe bumps him through turns 3 and 4, letting him know that he's there for that 3rd place position. 97, Scott Berry working the high side into turn number 1. Rob Dorr, the rookie in this Wildcat division, goes side by side for Berry through the backstretch area. As the High Point Wildcat drivers starting at the tail end of the pack, they've got the opportunity to race their Wildcats up through the field. Dan Wink, Marcel Chevette, Jason Webster. Last Saturday night's Wildcat feature winner Jeremy Morey still at the back of the pack of the number 15 Wildcat. Also your point leader, Richard Randall Jr., the number 90, as we've got trouble in turns 1 and 2. Scott Berry and Monroe get together. All the other drivers try to avoid, but Keith Stifler also involved in that. High Point drivers do get around the altercation in turns number 1 and 2, and will go caution.
They said that 50/50's up to $1,200 now. And that was like 5-10 minutes ago, so it might be up to $1,300 now. Get those tickets. We're giving away a lot of money tonight.
And we're giving away a first place finish in this Wildcat feature event. 4 laps completed this 30-lap main event. Ron Corbio Jr. now with Mike Ness to his outside in turn number 4. We're going racing. Green flag. Now Russ Thistlewood up in the bunch of the top 3 in the number 19 Wildcat. Here comes Dan Wink from way back in the back with a top 6 run in the number 53. Dan Wink putting behind him what happened last Saturday night. He's running strong. 6th currently in the number 53, right to the high side of the number 56 Bobby Hawley, as we've got several cars in trouble. 41 Steve Benacasa in the middle of the backstretch. That will bring out yet another caution for this Wildcat feature event. Sitting in the middle of the pack. Hopefully the brakes will work for these drivers. Mike Ness, Ron Corbio Jr. get around him. The rest of the field as well. Caution once again.
This season, same thing, but he's really turned things around, and right now, knock on wood, we're having a good run, running in 6th, ready to go green again.
Yeah, we've got 5 laps complete for your Wildcat main event. Mike Ness, Ron Corbio Jr., Russ Thistlewood, Scott Berry in turn 4, green flag. We're back to Wildcat racing in turn number 1. Mike Ness has a whole lot of orange on his back bumper, that being the 19 of Russ Thistlewood. Inside row working the hardest. Likewise, the high side row, the number 12 Ron Corbio Jr. going back just a bit as the 19 got around him. Robert Emery with a strong charge up the inside in the number 2. Bobby Hawley also working the inside lane in the number 56 Wildcat. Ron Corbio Jr. trying to find some room to the low side. Scott Berry gets a little tangled with him through turns 3 and 4. Now Corbio Jr. will dirt track it through turns 1 and 2. Dan Wink going backwards. Lyman McCann finds some racing room to the low side in the number 40. Mike Nest. Russ Thistlewood. Scott Berry around on the oncoming Wildcat traffic. Trouble right here on the front stretch. Scott Dorr gets his doors damaged. The number 55, Marcel Chevette, also involved. David Wilds, caution once again for your Wildcats. Drivers glance over one final time. We'll get the all clear from starter Junior Niles. In turn number 4, Mike Nest. Russ Thistlewood, bring out the green flag, and we're racing. C-3PO, where are you? Wildcats out of turn number 4, side by side into turn number 1. Russ Thistlewood. Mike Nest will now go 3 wide in turn number 1. Ron Corbio Jr. working into the high side, 3 wide down the backstretch. David Talevi, Jeremy Morey, Ron Corbio Jr. still 3 wide, 1 lap around. Lisselwood has taken over the lead in the number 19 Wildcat. Mike Nest, Robert Emery, Lyman McKeag now races alongside the number 29 of David Wilds for that 4th place position. Lyman McKeag with several top 5 runs the last couple of times out in the number 40, able to charge his way up through the point standings. So another fine run this evening in the number 40 Wildcat. Trouble in turn number 2. Chad Monroe goes around. Faces oncoming Wildcat traffic probably the next time by, unless he can get that number fired back up. Probably a good idea just to sit things through right there until the field gets around you. But you may not be able to get that Wildcat fired up as the number 19 continues to lead the way, and Monroe gets it fired and turned around. Lost a couple of laps. And the number 68 Wildcat. Restless, who are looking for his second of 3 Wildcat feature wins. Picked one up a couple of weeks ago, looking to make it 2 out of 3 as he approaches the halfway. 15 down, 15 to go for your Wildcats with some 5 or 6 car lengths lead over the number 67 of Mike Nest. We're single file from positions 1 through 4 as David Wilds and Dan Wink battle side by side for the top 5 position. Jason Webster is now trying to make his way up through the midst of the pack of the number 96. Currently runner-up in this point standings as the 90. Your point leader having trouble at the back of the pack. So things will change unless Randall can maneuver his number 90 up through the middle of the field. With just 2 races to go after this Wildcat feature. Now Robert Emery looked for racing room to the low side down the backstretch. 67, Mike Nest closed the door as Dan Wink got around David Wilds. Now a top 5 run for the number 53. Much better than last Saturday night as Dan Wink on pit road and the number 53 now looks for more racing room to the high side as the 40 Lyman McKeag to his driver's side door. Look to pick up more positions in turn number 1 and 2. Dan Wink working the high groove. Now Robert Emery slides to the high side as well as he saw Dan Wink coming from his rear view mirror. He'll go to the 2nd place position, race alongside the 67 of Mike Nest for that spot. 4 drivers, door handle to door handle. Down the back chute into turns 3 and 4. Up for grab, a top 5 run. David Wilds watches the 4 drivers in front of him battle for those positions. As Russ Lisselwood continues to break away from the rest of the field. Mike Nest, Robert Emery, Lyman McKeag, Dan Wink, David Wilds. Cars battling for a top 5 position as Robert Emery now with a nose and car advantage down the backstretch. He'll take over that runner-up position. The number 2 goes to 2nd. Mike Ness now goes to 3rd in the number 67 as Dan Wink still trying to get around Lyman McKeag in turn 1. And from an early on altercation in turn number 2, Bobby Nato up to the middle of the pack in the number 35 Wildcat as Lyman McKeag, Dan Wink, and David Wilds come together on the turn number 4. Wink goes around, Wilds goes around. Wilds and McKeag are stuck in turns 1 and 2. Dan Wink and the number 90 get together as well. Your 1st and 2nd place position will go 5 laps to go this time. Dan Wink and the 90 also involved. More altercations right here at the start-finish line as Lyman McKeag and David Wilds are stuck together. They'll now break free. Lyman McKeag keeps on going. David Wilds does as well, but loses a wheel in turns 1 and 2. should bring out a caution. Caution on the raceway. Just the tire left behind. In turns 1 and 2, and I'd hate to be the scorers scoring this race. Wow, 5 laps to go.
Forget the scores. I hate to be the body man of these cars.
Hey, we got the lights down. The pace car.
And McKegg's not coming back either. Haven't seen. I don't see the 40 on the racetrack. I don't see him atop of turn 3 yet. So he's going to lose some ground.
And we're set to go in turn number 4. Russ Thistlewood, Robert Emery. Emery looking for his second feature win. We've got green flag. Russ Thistlewood takes back what he had a couple laps ago. The lead now putting some distance between himself and the number 2, Robert Emery. Emery will try to tie it up in turns 3 and 4 with just 3 to go this time as Lyman McKeag joins the tail end of the pack. Junior Niles with the popsicle sticks in the air. He's going to indicate to the drivers 2 to go this time. Russ Thistlewood, Robert Emery, Mike Nest, Bobby Nader with a top 4 run. David Talebi now in the top 5 with Steve Benacasa in turn number 1. 2 to go that time.
40 and 53 going at it back in the pack again.
As Junior Niles, your starter for this Wildcat main event, shows the field white flag. Russ Thistlewood, Robert Emery, Mike Nest, Bobby Nadeau, Steve Benacasa, top 5 run. Here come the leaders out of turn number 4. Russ Thistlewood will make it 2 out of 3 with the win. Robert Emery, Mike Nest, Bobby Nadeau, Steve Benacasa running up the top 5. And we'll go to Pepsi Victory Lane to speak to tonight's feature winner, Russ Thistlewood.
At any rate, you can get one from Hambo. You can go through our 50-50 roamers throughout the grandstands. Get one of those tickets, though. 1,700 smackers on the 50-50. And as 19 comes to Victory Lane, welcome them in. And we go down trackside to Dave Sturgis in Pepsi Victory Lane with Russ Thistlewood.
Pepsi Victory Lane's where we're at. One more time, welcome Russ Thistlewood, your winner. Russell, congratulations, 2 of 3.
Thank you.
I guess the best place to be was up front tonight.
Well, I guess so. It's some good, clean racing by my competitors. I got to thank them. I got to thank my teammate Toby Gallant. I didn't have money for tires this week, and he's taking some time off. He had 1 week on his tires, and he gave them to me. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Nice run. 2 strong finishes in the last 3 weeks.
Thanks. It's great. That's what I need for the points.
Irving Mainway is tonight's sponsor, and for that, the first place presentation.
Hey Russ, just want to congratulate you, man. I know now why they call you guys the Wildcats, because that was a wild race. That was fantastic. Great job.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big Beech Ridge round of applause for your Wildcat feature winner, Russ Thistlewood. For Pepsi Victory Lane, we'll send it back upstairs to Andy Austin.
Number 1 for Chris Smith. Smitty in the number 1 comes into this race with a 3-point advantage over the number 5 of Chris Warming, who starts directly behind him. To the inside, number 31 is Jeff Irish, and the number 49 starts next. We look for the green flag this time off of corner number 4. Dave Visconti, Ed Gallant, 9, 13, 34, 99 will shake it down off of turn number 4. Green flag is out, we're racing. Already some mix-ups in turn number 1. And Sally Girardi tries the old Dukes of Hazzard. I should have played the Dukes of Hazzard horn for that one. And this will bring out a caution flag. And Don Tapley says, darn it, I was leading this one.
Camper racing.
Now, pop-up tents or motorhomes?
We haven't really. We haven't decided on that yet, but the stipulation is you gotta have your muzzle on the back seat, that's all. In the camper, that's all.
All right, Jerry.
That is the weirdest thing you've ever said.
Well, maybe not, but it's pretty close. All right, ready for a green flag this time off of turn number 4. Thanks a lot, Jerry. Back to green. Dana Gagnon from the inside of the front row, down the back straightaway, takes over the top spot. Here comes Tapley down to the inside for second in the 51. Bobby Rickey wants the room. Tapley's not going to give it up, and they run through 3 and 4. Gagnon down the back straightaway up on top by about 2, make that 3 car lengths, and you drop back to second spot where Bobby Ricky, who has an equal distance on Tapley in the 51, but it's 2-time champion Donnie Morse on the inside of leading rookie Mike Landry. Morse gets Landry, now wants Tapley, gets both of them in turn number 1. Morse gets a little bit sideways. Landry tries to follow 51 around, and now Morse slows up a bit in turn number 2. Not a mechanical problem, just trying to check up. He does check up and takes back off. Number 10 jumps to third spot. Meanwhile, battle for the lead developing in turn number 1. Bobby Ricky has caught Dana Gagnon side by side down the backstretch. 99 drops to the low side. 34, Dana Gagnon gives up the top spot. I say he was going to put up a fierce fight for it, but the Stallion Steel Machine tucks back in behind for second. Trouble on the front straightaway, and your point leaders are involved. Steve Fogg, one of your top point leaders, involved in that crash. Minorly, though, it's all clear. We stay green, but major repercussions from the 54 team. Steve Fogg will not get the benefit of a caution flag. He'll stay on the racetrack, but he's going to drop back a number of positions, and especially when the drivers that he is chasing, Chris Smith and Chris Warming, are about 7 spots in front of him. This spells big-time trouble for the 54 as Don Tapley in the 51 hits pit road. Tough break for the Buxton Tavern 54 of Steve Fogg. Led the points for so long in the season, but has slipped up the past couple of weeks, just had some bad luck. Meanwhile, battle for second develops in turn number 3. Look at Donnie Morse lean on Dana Gagnon up at turn 4. Turn number 2 is where we see the battle for second, 34 and 10. Turn number 2, Bill Dixon, Gagnon's teammate, becomes involved in an accident. Off of 2, he'll get it back underway, will stay green. But meanwhile, Donnie Morse goes after Dana Gagnon with a vengeance in turn 2. Further on back in the pack, look at Chris Smith, your current point leader on the inside, trying to pick his way to the front. He's got Chris Warming right behind him, and Reggie Lehman. Lehman, who was involved in the first lap accident, back in the race and trails to number 5 by about a car length back into turn 1. Number 10, Donnie Morse to the inside of Gagnon. Morse, one of the most courteous drivers out there. Morse will take the position only when he knows he has it. When he's not going to stick his nose into something where it's questionable. He'll race you as hard as anybody for a spot, but he will not take you out. One of the smoothest drivers in this division. Long-time competitor, knows when to pick and choose his spots, and he knows now. Tries the inside of Gagnon, they make a little contact. Morse, though, gives him time to gather it back up. 34 stays in second. It's that smooth driving style that got him to 2 championships and almost 3. Inside, Donnie Morse tries one more time. 10 on the inside of the 34. Morse wasn't even going to race this year. Sold off all his equipment. Then decided about halfway through the season, or about a quarter of the way, he was offered a ride in the Russell Mobile, and Charlie Russell gave him a chance to drive again, and he's getting back into the thick of things. Word is, this is just a rumor, he's trying to put together his own program to make a return in 2004. It'd be great to see Donnie Morse back on a full-time basis. 99 of Bobby Ricky, now feeling the pressure from Mr. Morse. Number 10 closes in on the 99 with Dana Gagnon right there at 3rd. Meanwhile, back to 4th, you have Mike Landry trying to hang on to Dustin Reynolds, or hold off Dustin Reynolds. That's not only a battle for position on the racetrack, but also a battle in the rookie standings. Those two drivers have a very close race going on. Smitty to the inside of Jason Larrabee. They've run double file for about 7 laps now. Warming right there, those drivers just being as consistent as possible. And is trying to keep the fenders on all the cars. And after the Wildcat race in the first part of this one, I think that's the best idea right now. Spark shooting out of the number 27 of Larrabee doesn't affect his speed that much. He stays on the outside of Smith. Meanwhile, back up in front, the number 10 has caught the 99, and Donnie Morse trying to go to the front. Ricky picked up a win earlier this season. Morse has been winless all year long. You have to go back to 2002 to get Donnie Morse's last win. This time by halfway down, cross flags in the air. 18 down, 7 to go. It's Bobby Ricky at the line. has been in victory lane. You got to go back to May of 2002. And as far as Bobby Rickey goes, you're going to go back to May of 2003. So this past May, 1 win to 99's credit this season, but 10 is hungry. Gagnon is in third in the number 34. Meanwhile, Landry still hanging on to fourth over Reynolds, and it's still side by side. Those two have not budged at all, Smith and Larrabee. 20 laps in the books. Gary McDugno tries the inside of the number 49. First time out for Trent Smith out of Hollis in the 49 this season. Well, the 10 of Morse caught the 99 of Ricky about 5 laps ago, and it looked like he was just going to charge to the inside or charge to the outside and immediately go to work on him. But that hasn't happened yet. As a matter of fact, Ricky pulled ahead by about 3 or 4 car lengths that last time. So Morse dropped back a little bit, but now he's on the charge. A late race charge for the number 10. Back at it just as soon as you might have thought that he was going to settle for second and drift back a little bit. He goes and charges for the win one more time, but it's turning into another cat and mouse race as he's dropped back again 4 car lengths. Ricky's still your leader at the line. 99 with 23 laps in the book. Continues to pace the field. 10 is second, Gagnon third, Landry fourth, Reynolds fifth, and now Smith trying the high side. They reverse it. For the last 12 laps or so, Jason Larrabee was on the top of Chris Smith. Now Smith goes to the top side of the 27 with still Chris warming right there. And now that the 38 of Beaver Norton and the number 54 of Steve Fogg, who were about a quarter of a track behind this battle 15 laps ago, they've caught these drivers. So Steve Fogg's misfortune is sort of turning around right now. He's within striking distance of Chris Smith. Very important for him to finish in front of these drivers, as is the same deal with Reggie Lehman in the 71. They need to finish in front of the 1. They need to get in front of the 5. Right now, they're there. They're not past them, but they're within striking distance. That's the battle of the moment. We'll follow this one off at turn number 4. The battle is for 5th, and Smith coming alive on the outside. The whole Smitty crew gets after me every once in a while when we make the reference to Chris Smith, fastest car on the racetrack towards the end of the race. But you know what? This is what happens. About 15, 20 laps into the race, he turns into the fastest car on the racetrack. He goes to the high side, and after being stagnant for the first 15 laps, comes alive. He's passed 3 cars now in 2 laps, all on the top side. Smith coming alive. Your point leader off of turn number 2 goes around Mike Landry, and Smith comes to 4th. Chris Warming knows it's time to go. Warming now on the high side. Laps winding down. 29 up on the boards this time. Nothing has changed at the top. You have Bobby Rickey, who has the semi-comfortable lead. We'll call it the leisure lead over the 10 of Donnie Morse. Third is David Gagnon. Fourth belongs to Chris Smith. Fifth, a good battle. Chris Warming up on the top side of the 40 of Mike Landry. Landry's been in the top 5 pretty much this entire race, and now we'll drop back to 6 as Warming has him at the line. What a turnaround it's been this season for the number 5 team. For Chris Warming, had an awful start to the 2003 season, but has been the most consistent car in the second half. This is the Chris Warming that we know, winning championships, and it was so impressive last season. Warming's really turned things around and has a legitimate shot at the championship. Still will be in a handful of points if they finish like they do tonight. 2 laps to go this time. 2 to go. Now or never time for the 10 of Donnie Morse. Can Morse break his dry spell? It's been well over a year since the 10's been in victory lane. Ricky looking for his 2nd of the season. Morse gives it everything he has down the back straightaway. White flag out. 1 lap to go when they hit the start-finish line this time. Lap traffic ahead. This could play a factor in it. At this rate of speed, they probably just catch up to the 8 of Clyde Hennessy. Final time down the backstretch appears right now to be Ricky's race to lose. Ricky's got the advantage through 3 and 4. Checkered flag out second time this year. 99 team strikes gold. Donnie Morris a strong second. Dana Gagnon comes up in third. Chris Smith fourth. Chris Warming fifth. Dustin Reynolds sixth. Jason Larrabee seventh. I believe Steve Fogg got eighth, and then it was kind of crazy from there on back. So once again, the points shake up in the Sports Series. And hey, why not?
Sports Series in Pepsi Victory Lane. Welcome him, Bobby Ricky, your winner. Bobby, congratulations. Welcome to Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Nice, strong run there.
God was good. I got to thank my guys. Donnie, Craig, Rick, Bob. You guys have been unbelievable all year.
It's your second time here. You had a feature win back in early May. This one feel a little better?
They all feel good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Skip is here from Mainway Irving, tonight's sponsor, and with that first place presentation.
Hey, I want to congratulate you. Another great race out here tonight on a beautiful night, and congratulations again from Irving Mainway.
Thank you. Appreciate you sponsoring.
Your feature winner, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Ricky with the win.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. We have the Pro Series coming up next. 44, Brocky Gary from the inside of the second row. He'll go off third. 99, Philbrick had his first top 5 run of the year just last Saturday night. And a good qualifying run for that machine. Look for him to be strong. Off of turn number 4, they get it started. Eddie Walsh waves the green, and the Pro Series is racing. Kurt Gary from the outside of the front row, down the back straightaway. Gary. Side by side for second. Philbrick battles Roussel on the high side. Rocky Gary in 4th spot. Down the back stretch as Philbrick sticks his nose to second. Can he close the deal in 3? No, Roussel's right there. Jackie evens it up in turns number 3 and 4. 2 by 2 across the start finish line for spot 2. Trevor Sanborn beginning to work the outside as well. Keep your eye on the 29, middle of the pack. He's on the outside of Bill Rogers. Battling for a top 10 spot with Jay Sands right there in the 36. George Philbrick putting on a great race. Philbrick in the 99, they've been getting stronger week after week, and now the 99 comes to second spot, but Roussel still persistent on the inside. Philbrick can't come down to close the deal. He'll still be on the high side in turn number 4. They make a little contact, but straighten it back out. 99, George Philbrick now sole possession of second place. Roussel back to third, and look at Trevor Sanborn march up the high side. The young 16-year-old in the top side of Billy Thompson in turn 1. Sanborn a little loose as Robbie Harrison has problems. Harrison to the inside. He's going to call it quits early. Tough break for the 18. Sanborn worked about 5 laps on the high side to get by 3 or 4 cars. Slipped up in turn number 2. It cost him everything he worked for. But persistence pays off, and he tries to the outside of J.R. Burrell once again on the high side. Meanwhile, Brocky Gary ready to do battle with the number 10 of Jackie Roussel. Gary drops it out on the low side, and in turn number 1, Roussel will lose it. Roussel all by himself spins. Everybody gets by clean. Roussel gets it underway. We stay green. And Kurt Gary and George Philbrick run away with this one. Rocky Gary to third. Bill Rogers up to 4th. It's been a very, very long dry spell for Bill Rogers. Rogers has had a really good season in the first half, but had about a month where they just could not buy a break. And then the last couple of weeks feel they've really turned the corner, but still bad luck on their side. Felt they had a car to win 2 weeks ago and had a problem. But Rogers back in the top 5 now in the 53. Meanwhile, back up in front, George Philbrick has caught Kurt Gary. 2 drivers who have yet to visit Victory Lane in 2003. Further on back, J.R. Burrell begins to roll on the high side. Battle of the New Hampshire drivers on the front stretch. Jay Sands in the number 36 and J.R. Burrell. What a second half Burrell has had. Burrell now to the second place in the point standings and trying for a top 5 on the racetrack. Former champion of Lee USA Speedway said this season he has been tested like he's never been tested before. The level of competition in the Pro Series at Beech Ridge is unlike anything he has raced with before, and it's taken him half a year to really sort of get the handle on it. But they feel they're in a position to really contend now, and indeed they are. To second in points, and now for a top 5 off of turn 2. Kurt Gary maintains his 2-car length advantage over the 99 of George Philbrick. That single file action is in turn number 1. Meanwhile, Bill Rogers at the top side of Brocky Gary. Gary, who has not been able to race his number 1 race car since July, has been running the backup car that Bud Bilodeau and Jim Manchester put together for this year. Gary's had a couple of good runs in that car, now riding side by side with Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers makes his neighborhood inside the top 3. 53 off of turn number 2, jumps to 3rd. Meanwhile, in second is George Philbrick. Philbrick in the 99. Had his best run of the season 1 week ago, came up with a top 5, looking to better that by a couple of positions tonight. Further on back in the pack, A-Train Alan Tardif on the high side of Billy Thompson. This is where the top point runners are. Alan Tardif, Dan McKay, Rick Frenette. Frenette threads the needle that time in turn number 3. Might be a worn-out racing turn, but boy, that's what they mean. He passed a car on the inside, drifted up the racetrack, and goes to the high side of Billy Thompson, shovels off a couple of cars at once, and Frenette goes to the top side, gets the spot in turn number 3. Thompson challenges back on the inside one more time. This is battle for, I believe this would be the 11th position on the racetrack. A lot of talk about Kurt Gary and George Philbrick running away with this one, but look who's joined the battle. If the 7 and 99 are Mr. Rogers' fish, Bill Rogers, it's time to feed the fish. Turn number 3, he closes in on Philbrick. Sizes him up, looks down to the inside, tucks back in behind the 99. While this happens, Kurt Gary pulls ahead just a little bit, gets somewhat of a very lean insurance policy, up by about 5 car lengths in turn 1. Bill Rogers still sizing up George Philbrick, still plenty of time to go, just past halfway. 23 laps on the board when they hit the start-finish line this time. It's Kurt Gary, George Philbrick, Bill Rogers, Brocky Gary, and now coming to the top 5, J.R. Burrill. Burrill trying to game some positions on Bobby Babb. Babb now runs in the number 8 position. And Babb needs to gain a couple of more if he's going to really make a charge for a top 3 position in the New England region standings for the NASCAR Dodge Weekly Series. Currently ranked number 4 in the region. And will you really gain points? Our top 5s and wins. Babb once had a string of 9 top 5 finishes this season, 9 straight top 5 finishes. Came up with his first top 5 run in a couple of races just last week. Further on back in the pack, look at the scramble between A-Train, the naughty 40 of Dan McKegg, and Steve Carrier. They mix it up in turn number 3.
53 took over the second.
Bill Rogers has now moved into the number 2 spot, and now here comes Mr. Bill. Bill Rogers in the 53. A team that could really use a break. They might get one tonight. Much faster. You can see him visibly close that time in turn number 3, and now Rogers on the top side. He can smell this victory. Has one more car to get around, but Kurt Gary is not going to be easy. Gary wants to win just as much as Rogers does. Maybe even more. Gary's never tasted victory lane in the Pro Series. He wants to get there. Rogers wants to advance in the point standings. And Rogers feels he's had cars to win at least a half dozen occasions this season. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out his way. This is his best shot right here off of turn number 4. Rogers on the outside of Kurt Gary. George Philbrick in third. Rocky Gary fourth. J.R. Burrell fifth. And now Bill Rogers tries the high side. Gary down low in the number 7. Rogers gets a great run off of turn number 4. Rogers pulls it up even. Turn number 1. Turn 2 side by side and down the back straightaway there in a dead heat at turn number 3. Rogers pushes ahead. Rogers ahead by a fender, drifts up the racetrack just enough for Kurt Gary to dive down to the inside and make it side by side back into one more time. Lap number 33 goes on the scoreboard this time, and Bill Rogers tries to close the deal in turn number 3, can't do it. Gary's last shot on the inside, tries to even it up one more time. He's back on the inside. Rogers by a car length. Bill Rogers finally gets around Kurt Gary. It wasn't easy, but the 53 did it. Can he hold on? A little bit of smoke coming out of Bill Rogers' car. Might be tire smoke, might be a fender rubbing on the car. Let's hope it is. If you're a Bill Rogers fan, you want it to be tire smoke, because tire smoke, that's fine. It's only 5 laps to go and they hit the start-finish line this time. 5 laps to go at the stripe and Rogers pulls away. Rogers wants this win and wants it bad. If it was tire smoke, it appears that's what it is. Someone get him a new right rear. He's going to need it for next week. Burning that thing off. Through turns number 3 and 4, Bill Rogers continues to lead this one, just a couple laps away from victory now. By our records, you have to go back to June of 2001 to see Bill Rogers in victory lane. Over 2 years. 2 years coming and 2 laps to go for the 53. Lap traffic ahead. Mark Lucas out of Harpswell in the 08. As Bill Rogers goes down to the inside, Kurt Gary closes in one more time. Race might not be over. Lap traffic could be the story. No, it won't be. Now the 08 gets out of the way. And I'm sure Rogers breathes a sigh of relief. Or at least one. He can let it all out as soon as he hits the start-finish line. And a race 2 years in the making for the 53. The culmination of all the hard work. Checkered flag out for Bill Rogers. Kurt Gary, a great run for second. Another top 5 run for George Philbrick. He gets third. Rocky Gary fourth. And J.R. Burrell will gain a couple of more points on Bobby Babb, but just a couple. All right, down to the Pepsi victory lane. This is going to be an exciting one. Let's go trackside to Dave Sturgis.
Welcome, your feature winner of the Pro Series number 53, Bill Rogers, your winner. Bill, congratulations and welcome to Victory Lane.
Thank you, thank you. It's been a long time coming.
You really had the thing hooked up tonight, started midway through the pack, and didn't take you long to charge up through the rest of the field.
Nope, car was real good, a little bit loose off. Could have asked for a little more rear bite, but it was good. Very happy. I'd like to thank my crew. Without them, it can't be done. They work really hard. They're with me all the time. Sponsors, Hawley's Racing Collectibles, Garland's Oil, John Bickford Oil, Seacoast Motor Transport, Twin City Radiator, and Pool and Heavy Industries, SeacoastRVs.com, and Bill's Automotive, and Socko Printing.
Congratulations. You got a couple more races to go to get this thing right where you want it. Looked real strong tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I'd like to see if we can climb back in the top 5 in points. That's our goal right now. Another win would be nice, but we've got 2 more races to go, so top 5 in points and I'd be happy.
Congratulations. A nice night to pick up the win. Mainway Irving is tonight's sponsor, and Skip is here with the first place trophy presentation.
Listen, on behalf of Irving Mainway, the fans want to congratulate Larry on the 2 years. That's awesome. I'm especially happy because our group up here picks cars for winning. I picked number 53, so it's great to be in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood tonight. So congratulations.
Thanks, and thanks Irving for sponsoring tonight's race.
Congratulations once again in Pepsi Victory Lane for the first time in a couple of years. Your feature winner, Bill Rogers.
Drivers, start your engines!
car ready to turn left on the infield pit road. Starter points to turn number 4, indicating that the drivers ought to hold it even. He looks them over. They come to turn 4. Green is out. Mike Olson gets the jump, goes from the pole to the point. Here comes Mike Johnson up the inside to challenge Kelly Moore. Runs to the inside of Moore, takes over the runner-up spot. Mike Johnson, strong move to the runner-up spot. Kelly Moore is third. Top 4 go nose to tail. Matt Kobalak in the 40 as the top 4 break away just a little bit. Cars bunched up back midfield. Again, keep an eye on the point leader, Andy Santerre, back there in the middle of the pack. Mike Olson, a driver who got his first pole and first Busch North feature win right here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, likes this track. Brian Chu slipping back just a little bit, maybe looking to get down on the inside in the 09. Talking with Andy Santerre on pit road this afternoon, he said you're going to see, he feels, everybody changing tires, so that, of course, is going to enter into the equation. But right now, it's all Mike Olson. Problems on the number 35, Brad Layton off the pace. What a tough break, one of the fast cars this afternoon. Layton off the pace in the number 35. What a tough break, running an abbreviated program this year. He will slowly move on to pit road. 35 car now to the attention of the Irving Oil crew, and wow, what a tough way to start. Meanwhile, back up front, Mike Olson has put some distance between himself and the 96 of Mike Johnson. Kelly Moore trying to close it up on Johnson now, and Matt Kobalak and Dave Dion for the top 5. Dion now looks to the inside of the number 40. Here comes Dion with a bid to take the 4th place position. Getting under the Matt Kobalak car, takes over the 4th place position by a fender at the stripe. Mike Olson kind of by himself. Mike Johnson to second over the 47 of Kelly Moore. Dave Dion pulling away in the 4th place position, trying to close the gap now on that 3rd place car of Kelly Moore. Ryan Moore all over the back bumper of the Travis Benjamin number 93. Jerry Marquis around at the middle of the backstretch, and that will put the field under caution. He gets the car right back around, but not sure just what turned the 52, but Jerry Marquis, a guy very familiar with the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, gets turned about halfway down the backstretch, putting the field under caution for the first time here in the Irving Oil 150. Well, we're ready to get it back to green. Starter points to turn number 4, says hold it even, back to green. Brad Layton trying to get a lap back. Whatever was wrong with that number 35, they have apparently straightened that out. Trying to not go down another lap to race leader Mike Olson, see if he is able to stay ahead of the leader. That will be a test as to just how well the 35 is running. And again, this afternoon there were 2 practice sessions. Brad Layton was the fastest in the first session. I don't recall where he was in the second, but Brad Layton certainly a guy who knows his way around the speedway. top 5 remain intact, but a lot of pressure in that 5th place position. Joey McCarthy putting a lot of pressure on Matt Kobaluk. And Mike Olson right at the back bumper of Brad Layton. Layton getting the passing flag now, and going to have to tuck it down to the inside rail, I think, and let Mike Olson move on by. We'll see how many times they, well, maybe he's going to move to the outside and let Olson go to the inside, feeling that that's the preferred line. Maybe he's going to race him. I don't know. Brad Layton loves to race, so he's going to get that passing flag again. And just a tough break for Brad Layton that he had to have mechanical problems and get a lap down early on. Once again, a lot of pressure for Matt Kobaluk as he is trying to hang on to that 5th place position. Joey McCarthy, who was a winner at Holland this year, and a strong runner, putting a lot of pressure on for that position. Eddie McDonald on the move now on the outside. McDonald in the number 17, keep an eye on him. He has won here before. He was a runner-up the last time the Tour was here. And also Andy Santerre back there with Ryan Moore. They're racing side by side now. So some good racing going on back in the pack. So if you look back to about midfield, some of the heavy hitters back there looking to work their way to the front. Oh, a spin over in turn number 2.
96 by Brad Layton.
Brad Layton around, and evidently some contact with the 96 of Mike Johnson, and that puts the field under caution for the 2nd time this evening in the Irving Oil 150. So cars on pit road along with Matt Kobaluk. Once again, Brad Layton, Jerry Marquis in the 52, Kerry Heath in the 12, all taking the opportunity to pit. Maybe a little early for tires. Look like they're going to do tires on the number 40. And once again, talking with Andy Santerre this afternoon, he thought that everybody would be changing tires. So we'll keep an eye on that. And that pit stop strategy is key many times. Well, right now, starter says we're ready to resume. He points to turn number 4. Back to green. Once again, Mike Olson with a quick shift, and the guy on the move right now, Eddie McDonald. Keep an eye on that number 17 on the outside, down into turn number 3, looking to the outside of the 29 of Dave Dion. Probably in his last, I'd say, 3 or 4 visits to Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, Eddie McDonald has just been fantastic. So don't be surprised to see this 17 drive to the front. Guy who just went around has been a feature winner this year, so he's not passing, someone who isn't a pretty stout competitor. Top 3 have broken away just a little bit. Mike Olson, Mike Johnson, and Kelly Moore. Then it's Dave Dion, Eddie McDonald, Joey McCarthy, Travis Benjamin, Andy Santerre, gradually making quite an advance from where he started out. I think it was 16th starting position for Santerre, up to 8th. So a good run going for the current point leader and defending champion Andy Santerre, as he is analyzing the back bumper of the 93, trying to advance up to 8th from a 16th place starting position. Couple on the strong contenders. Dale Portley, winner a week ago. And Brian Hort is outside in the 45. I think it was 2 years ago that Brian was the fast qualifier here. So keep an eye on 32 and 45 also. Got clusters of three. Again, the top three kind of broken away. And then the next three cars, 4, 5, and 6. Dave Dion with a lot of pressure from Eddie McDonald. McDonald going to the outside on the number 29. Dion, of course, one of the wily veterans. Run a lot of races here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Here comes Andy Santerre with a bid to the outside of the number 93 of Travis Benjamin. Santerre on the move. Santerre puts a fender up down into turn number 3. Travis Benjamin not going to let go of that position easily. They're side by side. It's Santerre by a fender that time across the line. On the backstretch, Andy Santerre moves to 7th place. About 1/3 of the way through this one now, and Andy Santerre has moved from 16th to 7th. Santerre closing the gap between himself and the 6th place car of Joey McCarthy. Black flag evidently for the 5 of Barney McRae.
He was pretty good too.
Barney McRae headed on a pit road, having received the black flag. I'll have to go in and see if the crew can take care of whatever the problem is on the number 5. Meanwhile, back up front, Mike Johnson has closed it in just a little bit on race leader Mike Olson, perhaps because Olson now has some traffic to contend with. Passing flag going out to the 12 car, Carrie Heath, letting her know that the race leaders are trying to get by. Olson moves by, Mike Johnson moving by. Passing flag out now to the 00. Cars stretched out a bit now, with the exception of Mike Johnson having been able to close it up on race leader Mike Olson.
Straight away from the end of the lap.
Well, little by little, Mike Olson is going to start putting more cars down the lap, and one of those cars that is in sight is rookie Ryan Moore. So you can bet that Ryan Moore is going to try to pick it up and do his best to stay on the lead lap, and he certainly has done that this year very successfully. Mike Johnson, serious pressure now for race leader Mike Olson as they have broken away. Here comes Johnson with a bid to the inside of race leader Mike Olson. Johnson trying to find room on the low side, and he does between 3 and 4. And your new leader, Mike Johnson, in the number 96, as he moves Olson back to the runner-up spot. Kelly Moore continues in third, Dave Dion in fourth, and Eddie McDonald rounds out the top five. Two-car breakaway now as the leaders have about a half straightaway on Kelly Moore. Moore a fairly comfortable advantage over Dave Dion. Andy Santos still trying to get around the 22 of Joey McCarthy. Now there's a lap car involved and going to make it a little more difficult to advance as the lap cars are kind of strung out. Once again, a couple of the strong runners now in view of race leader Mike Johnson, and that would be the 74 of Ryan Moore and the 55 of Mike Stefanik. Stefanik, of course, the runner-up in the point standings. So the last thing he wants to do is get off the lead lap. So you can bet that the 55 and the 74 are going to do their best to hold off the race leader and either hope for a caution, a chance to get in and make some corrections on the cars. Battle for the sixth place position continues to be waged between Joey McCarthy and Andy Santerre. Santerre right at the back bumper of the number 22. Here they come out of turn number 4. Andy Santerre now with a bid to the outside of the number 22. Once again, pulls to the outside and has been able to catch the 22 and run right on his bumper, but thus far has not been able to really get up and to get a serious challenge, but he will do so this time. Puts the fender up down into turn number 3. Santerre on the move in the number 6. Here he comes out of turn number 4, taking over the 6th place position. Mike Johnson and Mike Olson once again in heavy traffic, and they go side by side now as they have come up on the 55, and we're going to see a lead change right here with the lap car as Mike Olson down to the inside, Leighton moved to the outside, and little block set there, and Mike Olson is back to the front. Coming to the halfway point will indicate our starter. Here comes your leader to turn number 4. The cross flags are up, 75 down, 75 to go. Mike Olson, your leader, followed by Mike Johnson. Then some 10 or 11 car lengths back, Kelly Moore continues in third. Dave Dion in a tight battle with Eddie McDonald for that 4th place position. Little by little, Andy Santerre closing the gap between himself and those next 2 cars, looking to move into the top 5 if he continues to advance the way he has been. Heavy traffic traffic for the leaders now. Wow, and look who is up to go down a lap now. Ryan Moore and Mike Stefanik. Boy, we didn't think we would see this tonight, but heavy traffic and the leader looking to lap the second place car and the top rookie, who I believe came into this evening sitting fifth in the point standing. So the second and fifth place cars in danger of going down a lap here at the midpoint of the race to race leader Mike Olson. Olson to the inside of the 55, and he will put the 55 and Mike Stefanik down a lap. And boy, I didn't think we would see that tonight. Ryan Moore just barely on the lead lap. So just see what happens if he is able to stay ahead of the leader or not. It certainly doesn't look like that's going to be the case, as now the leader goes to the inside of Ryan Moore. So Olson putting first Mike Stefanik down a lap. Now Ryan Moore off the lead lap. Obviously, if you're following that scoreboard, having problems with it, I believe it's lap 83. I started getting back into the 70s, and we know we're beyond the halfway point. Well, thus far, race leader Mike Olson has done a good job of working the traffic and has put a couple of the strong runners off the lead lap now. Meanwhile, Andy Santerre has closed it right up on the number 17, so Santerre knocking on the door of the top 5 now, has the 17 and the 29 just in front of him. Oh, on the backstretch, Brian Chu around sideways 3 wide as Mike Johnson takes it over. Daring move between cars, and Mike Johnson gets back by Mike Olson. Boy, what a nice save by Brian Chu in the 09. And as the cars began to scatter just a little bit, Mike Johnson went between cars, took over the lead, and Olson dove to the back bumper. And wow. What a battle between a couple of guys that just love to race on this Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Over 3 wide on the backstretch again. The 16, the 19, the 55. Wow. They are getting all stacked up in turn number 4. And again, some of the heavy hitters in the mix there. Kelly Moore trying to work to the outside. Here comes Andy Santerre to the inside on the number 29. And, well, the traffic is making it tough for Dave Dion. Lap traffic, boy, going to enter into things, it would appear. Passing flag continues to go out. Eddie McDonald now has caught Kelly Moore. So a tight battle now for that 3rd place position held by Kelly Moore, wanted by Eddie McDonald. Two-car battle continues at the front with Mike Johnson and a mirror full of Mike Olson. So they go at it at the front. Then another 2-car battle being waged for the 3rd place position, Kelly Moore and Eddie McDonald. Dave Dion kind of by himself right now in the 5th place position, but look who's coming. The number 6, little by little, closing in and trying to move into the top 5. Mike Johnson, Mike Olson again, trying to nearly do it 3 wide down into turn number 3. Kerry Heath down on the inside, and wow, they end up both going to the outside. It looked like for a moment there it was going to be 3 wide once again. Boy, 2 cars that are even. The leader, Mike Johnson, and the runner-up right now, Mike Olson. Boy, those cars are just apparently about as even as 2 cars can get. Mike Olson right now looks like he may have a little more, going to dive to the outside. Now, whether or not Mike Johnson was using everything he had, maybe we'll tell when Mike Olson attempts to paddle. Olson got out of shape between 1 and 2. Saw the car waver. Well, the tires getting down. We're up to 100 laps in the book, and rather soft compound, as I'm told. So tires could certainly become a factor, and if some people have kind of conserved the tires, that may be a factor. Andy Santerre now right up to the back bumper of the Dave Dion number 29. Johnson able to stretch it out now just a little bit. Whether the handling has gone away a little bit on the 61, we're not sure, but we saw him waver between 1 and 2. Could be that the handling might have gone away just a little bit, or maybe he's just kind of cooling the tires. A little hard to tell. Tight battle continues for that 3rd place position, held by Kelly Moore, wanted by Eddie McDonald. Eddie McDonald now making an attempt to the outside of the 47. Going to try to get up and see if he can get beside the 47, then maybe use the lap car as a block. Maybe hard to do with a wily veteran Kelly Moore. Starter has certainly had to work that passing flag tonight. Done a good job of trying to move the lap cars. Meanwhile, Mike Olson has closed it right up once again on race leader Mike Johnson. Still just a 2-car race at the front. 2-car race for 3rd with Kelly Moore now in heavy traffic. And you can bet that Eddie McDonald will try to take advantage of that if he possibly can. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be possible, as the lap cars have kind of lined up on the inside, with the exception of Mike Stefanik. So now we have 3, 4, 5, and 6, pretty much nose to tail. Kelly Moore, Eddie McDonald, Dave Dion, and now Andy Santerre. You know, I have lapses every now and then. I want to call that number 6 Joe Bessie, but obviously Joe Bessie's the owner, but that was his number, of course, for a long time. Kelly Moore continuing with a lot of pressure from Eddie McDonald. Lap cars again coming into play. They clear the lane chase number 2, then have Mike Stefanik in the number 55. Now, not sure whether they're going to be able to drive around the 55 or not. Better than a full straightaway advantage now for the 1 and 2 place cars over 3, 4, 5, and 6 that are kind of clustered together. Johnson once again pulling out and gaining a little more space, a little more breathing room, so to speak, over Mike Olson. Andy Santerre now going to make an attempt on the number 29. Has looked to the outside several times. Of course, the lap car of Mike Stefanik. Right here, spin by Kerry Heath is going to put the field under caution, and this is going to close the field up. And it'll be interesting to see who decides to stop for tires. I think it's a 2-tire maximum under caution. Coming up to the inside, Brian Chu in the 09. Looked like Mike Stefanik was going in, but he didn't. I think it's to Joey McCarthy, number 22, Jerry Marquis, and Brad Layton back in, Travis Benjamin in. So certainly up through the top half dozen, no one has elected to move on to pit road. Ryan Moore going to move up to the inside, so he will be making another visit to pit road. Mike Stefanik coming in, Ryan Moore coming in. Time winding down, and I'm sure that's on the minds of the drivers up front and their crew chiefs to know that if they have to go back to the tail end of the lead cars, it's going to be tough perhaps to come back up through this field in a short length of time. Evidently scoring is indicating that the 74 and the 55 are to be behind the 98 in the realignment. 55 has moved back. Looks like the 74 is also attempting to do that. Let the 98 by, and we are back to green. Mike Johnson with a quick jump from the pole to the point. Mike Olson back to second. Kelly Moore, Eddie McDonald, and Dave Dion, your top 5. Here comes Andy Santerre. Santerre dives to the inside on the number 29. Santerre trying to move into the top 5. Heavy traffic in front of him. Can he thread the needle? Looks like he will do so. Santerre into the top 5. Dives to the inside on the number 98, which is off the lead lap. Once again, Mike Johnson opening up a little breathing room between himself and the 61 and Mike Olson. Kelly Moore looking to close it in now on that second place car. Eddie McDonald continues to advance. Looks like he is closing in a bit on the 47. Andy Santerre on the outside, still trying to make time as he has to try and clear this lap traffic. Some of it moving pretty well, so it isn't a case of just everybody pulling over and letting him go, as we can see. Down into turn number 3. Whoa, Jerry Marquis sideways did a nice job of hanging on to the car. Jimmy Renfro in the 00 certainly did a nice job also, because boy, 3 wide is very, very tough to do. Mike Olson trying to close it in now on race leader Mike Johnson. Top 4 have broken away, kind of, again, a couple of 2x2 type alignments. Andy Santerre still dealing with a bunch of lap cars that he has not been able to clear. Has 4 cars now between himself and the 4th place car of Eddie McDonald, so kind of some tough going in terms of his attempt to advance from that 5th place position. Kerry Heath on pit road with the number 12. Tough battle going on between Matt Kobalak in the 40 and Dave Dion in the 29. They have traded paint several times. Dale Quarterly also in that mix, along with Joey McCarthy and Bobby Dragon. So, wow, what a 4-car battle right here. Eddie McDonald, a lot of pressure for Kelly Moore, and keep an eye on that battle for 3rd. McDonald right at the back bumper of the number 47. They will move out around the 12 of Kerry Heath. Oh, caution, a melee between 3 and 4. Brad Layton up off the high side of the track, has the car under power. Laps winding down, and we go to caution. Okay, last lead lap car, I'm told, is the number 22. Pace car ready to turn left onto the infield pit road. This is it. Getting ready and back to green at turn number 4. Mike Johnson with a quick jump. And wow. He was not going to let things turn around right there on the start. Mike Johnson out there by himself. Mike Olson with Kelly Moore in tow. Can they hang on to those top 3 positions? Here they come to the white flag, 1 to go. Mike Johnson just got to negotiate turn 3 and 4, and it will be 3 of the last top 6. Mike Johnson over Mike Olson, Kelly Moore, Eddie McDonald, and Andy Santerre. We'll see you at the start-finish line.
Checker flag down and down into Pepsi victory lane. The Johnson Lumber 96, Mike Johnson, your winner. And now Mike Olson walks away with the checkered flag. Hey, you guys sitting in the parking lot. Turn around. I think this one's going to get interesting. An interesting victory lane ceremony. Bruce is ready. Let's go trackside.
Okay. Thanks, Andy. Boy, a tough one for the 96. Really jumped the start. Eddie, congratulations, buddy. Boy, you continue to like this Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, and
yeah, these Jammer chassis and Chris Raymond setting the cars up, they're just unbelievable here. And just want to thank our sponsors, Tri-State Roofing, Autotrader.com, and Bellingham Sheet Metal, and all the guys on the crew did an awesome job. And want to congratulate Mike Olson and feel bad for Mike Johnson.
oh, absolutely. I'm sure everybody does. Irving Mainway, Irving Oil, our sponsor tonight, and plus some obvious confusion with the evidently the posting of the number 96, but we'd like to get the folks from Irving Mainway over here if we can with third place trophy for you. We got Andrew and Robert from Irving Mainway, and they have the third place trophy. Meet Eddie McDonald.
Well, I had the opportunity to meet Eddie last year here in Victory Lane, so it's good to give him a third place trophy again this year. Congratulations, Eddie.
Very nice job. Congratulations. I'd like to get our second place finisher. Congratulations, Kelly. A little confusion here with a shuffle right at the end, but you're always strong here, and I know it's nice to come back home and get a good solid finish.
Yeah, it really is. You know, we had a decent car in practice today, and we're really happy for the Napa people and the Bill Dodge and Main Lubrication, everyone that helps us. And it's really good to come back here at Beech Ridge and run good. We haven't run good here in quite a few races, and it's just it's good to be in Victory Lane again. Wish we could be where Mike was, but this is a real good start.
Yeah, if you can't be there, you're in the next best place. Again, the folks from Irving Mainway are here, and we'd like to give them a chance to congratulate you.
Behalf of Irving Mainway, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support that Irving's given us, the Busch North Series for the last 3 years, and appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank you. Great. Thanks. Good luck. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay. Hey, Mike, congratulations, buddy. We've done this before, and I kept saying how much you like this speedway, and boy, your performance certainly shows it.
Yeah, I love coming to Maine. A lot of great fans, and it's always a great race here. And the car was really good tonight. We had to get out to a pretty good lead. I lost the lead there. The 09 and the 19 got tangled up, and the 96 got by me. And then, the longer we ran, the tires were starting to go away a little bit. That last restart, I guess he got a little scared. Thought I might get up under him or something, and took off in turn 3. So we'll take it anyway and get it. A win's a win.
Well, it's another win for you here, and a good night to do it. The folks from Irving Mainway, our sponsor, and they have a nice trophy for you here to go with this first place check.
Thanks a lot. Mike, we sell a lot of Little Trees air fresheners at Irving Mainway. We're real thrilled to see you here in Victory Lane tonight. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate all the support you guys do with the series through car sponsorships and race sponsorships, and we couldn't be here without you guys. Thanks a lot.
And with that, back to Andy Austin.
So I'll wrap up tonight's show. Thank you very much for coming. Had a great time, and we got more racing next Saturday night. Another NASCAR night. Qualifying begins at 6 o'clock, and feature racing at 7:30. Another $9 NASCAR nights. So on behalf of the Cusack family, all the staff here at Beech Ridge, and for Bruce Elder and Dave Sturgis, my name is Andy Austin. Wishing you all a good night. Have a safe drive home.
a tribute to the Westboro Speedway. Journey back through time with photos, films, and videos. Experience the cars, the stars, the way it was. Through the 50s to the 80s at the High Bank Quarter Mile Speedway. Plus, a look at the 2001 Westboro Speedway reunion. Order now by calling 888-RACE-VIDEO or 603-679-6796. Now you can own a part of racing history. Stars of the Winston Cup Series compete on a local short track. Not just an exhibition, but real wheel-to-wheel, no-holds-barred racing. Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Morgan Shepherd, Ernie Irvin, Jeffrey Bodine, Davey Allison, and many more, racing pro stocks against local drivers. To order your VHS copy in hi-fi stereo sound, call toll-free 888-RACE-VIDEO. That's 888-RACE-VIDEO.